Welcome to Nintendo Voice Chat episode 424. I'm your host, Zach Ryan, and I'm joined today by Ryan Big Mac McCaffrey.
424, that's a palindrome.
That's right. Casey Subpubs DeFreitas.
Hello.
And Brian, I didn't think of a nickname for you, Brian.
Tom Nook, I'll see you soon.
Oh, you guys, what a direct. I'm like sweaty. That was information overload.
It was crazy.
Yeah, for those of
Altano,
you...
you were concerned going in that the hype would be too much, that we'd be let down by this because we had to wait longer.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, that's actually, it was way more than I anticipated. I just want to talk real quick about that small, heart palpitating roller coaster they put me on at the very end.
Before you get into that, I have to interrupt you. I just want to say, like, obviously you're here joining us live on Nintendo Voice Chat on IGN.com every Thursday at 3 p.m. You, of course, can see us there first, and then you can join us on Fridays on YouTube if you'd like to, but we're always on IGN.com first on Thursdays, 3 p.m. Now, Brian... my dude, what an emotional roller coaster for you we just had. Now, we ended the direct with a couple of announcements about one of Brian's favorite franchises, and I watched him experience a range of joy, anger, confusion, sadness, like
Rage.
gas.
Yeah,
maybe a little
paramedics
gas.
just left with the defibrillator.
right.
Yeah, seriously. So, like, here's the thing. With the Smash announcements and the new character reveals and stuff like that, that's supposed to be a good... incredibly fun thing for everybody to sort of go like, oh, I didn't know the Inkling from Splatoon was going to be in Smash, and then everyone's really happy about it. For this, they showed me a new Animal Crossing game and then told me I wasn't getting a new Animal Crossing game because Isabelle was going to be in Smash instead, and then said, just kidding, you're getting a new Animal Crossing game. So I went from screaming with excitement to cursing a lot, and we didn't have the mics on for that. These guys
I did legitimately have a concern that mics were open for a second, because we were all saying some things that probably would have been frowned upon.
Would you, Brian, would you have rather had it the other way, where they just went ahead and announced the new Animal Crossing first, and then said, oh, by the way, Isabelle's also in Smash Brothers as well?
Yeah, we got this, which is just the Animal Crossing logo. It says 2019. Look, here's the thing. As an Animal Crossing fan, we haven't had a dedicated game in a long time. We got the iPhone game, which is like... it's like a children's menu version of a regular restaurant. Like, it's fine. It was a fun distraction. This will be a real full-fledged Animal Crossing game.
But if they had done it the other way, you wouldn't have gotten to ride that amazing emotional roller coaster, Brian.
I can't handle that anymore.
He's a father now. He has to conserve his energy.
I'm getting old. They almost killed me.
So just as a reset, we are talking about Isabelle being announced as a Smash character, which was maybe one of the greatest dupes of all time I've ever seen in a Direct. And then we got a kind of a reset of Tom Nook looking at something on his computer, and then he decided that he was going to announce that there would be an Animal Crossing coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2019. I mean, this is something that fans of the show, longtime listeners will know that we've been talking about, well, specifically Brian has been talking about Animal Crossing coming to the Switch since probably the Switch was announced back in October of 2016, right?
Yeah.
Like when we first saw that first teaser. So now that the game is potentially a reality, what are some of the key differentials that you want to see in an Animal Crossing game? Like, obviously, there's no hard news about it yet.
Right.
What does Animal Crossing on Switch look like to you?
Obviously, online functionality. The fact that it is a portable system is huge for Animal Crossing. It did great stuff for the 3DS version, which means you can bring it to other people. You can trade with them. The Switch is, I think, a very social thing. We have 3 on the table right here. 4. McCaffrey doesn't have his Joy-Cons on.
There's a reason for that. We'll get to that later.
So I want to see that. I want to see a lot of sort of item trading and visiting each other's towns. I want all of those sort of walls to come down a little bit easier, because that's always been kind of difficult. And with Nintendo kicking off some online stuff in this show, hopefully we'll get to see more of that. I would like them to ditch that sort of spherical globe rotating animation thing that they put in the last few. They pulled that away for the mobile version, so we'll see. And I want to be able to murder Tom Nook.
Seems like it seems a little far-fetched. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm not sure that Nintendo's gonna allow that, but hey, it's important to have dreams.
Is he really that bad of a guy? I mean, he's just doing his job, making some money.
He's making a lot of money.
He's making a lot of money. One of my all-time
Gotta pay
favorites.
those bells, Brian.
I'll try and remember to include this in the show notes, but there's a now famous rant from Up at Noon, I think back in the first year that you guys had rebooted it, about Brian just ranting about Tom Nook. That is like one of my favorite things that I've ever done.
You can tell how old the video is by how fat I am.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Casey, you're an Animal Crossing fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about this?
Man, so I want to backtrack and ask everyone, what do you think about Isabelle being chosen out of all of the different characters in Animal Crossing? Because I would assume like Rossetti or Tom Nook or KK Slider to be chosen before Isabelle, because Isabelle just came around with New Leaf.
Well, we've seen KK Slider as a trophy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
hasn't
he
been an
plays in
assist
the
character?
background
Yeah.
on Saturdays in
Okay.
the Animal Crossing level.
You're right. Rossetti would have made sense because he's pissed off and he has an axe and he
Yeah.
pops up out of the ground and he can kill people with it. But Isabel, she works for the
so
town
cute and
hall.
nice.
But I don't know. I mean, the villager in Animal Crossing was a guy we were like, this is a non-violent man, and he was like, no, he's going to beat you to death with a net.
She does look like she's having a lot of fun while she's causing all this pain to these people, these Smash characters. So I kind of dig that.
I'm trying to figure out if she's an Echo Fighter or not.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Can I give you the cynical take on this?
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is that they're saving the other characters for DLC.
Yeah,
For later.
Yeah,
You got to have
sure.
something to offer for a little extra cash down the road.
And they will.
very well could be.
They had a long tail on the last Smash game that included like Ryu and Cloud and stuff like that. So I think there's room for Tom Nook and Rossetti to die in this game.
Yeah, I mean, but we had started by talking about what kind of features you're looking for in an Animal Crossing game on Switch. Like outside of what Brian's takes were, like, is there anything that you really want to see in a Switch version?
Man, I think the last Animal Crossing I played a lot was the first one for the DS.
Okay.
And I played that consistently for almost a full year. And I liked being able to take it with me and to, as Brian was saying, connect with people on the go wherever I was. And that was a lot easier for me to like take it to school at the time and to like take it out during lunch and play with the people around. And I think that's really cool that we'll be able to do that in the office here and maybe share some items. I think one of my favorite features was the NES player.
Yeah,
In Animal Crossing, I thought was
in the
really
GameCube,
cool.
Yeah,
That was the GameCube
I was going to
version.
add
Yeah,
to
that
that
was the first
actually. So I know that Nintendo will obviously sell us all those games or do all those games through the online service, but I would like to be able to, if you have them through online, unlock them as icons in the game so you can put them in your house and play them.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I could see that being an integration. Now, I've never been like a major Animal Crossing fan. I've always been sort of like a fair weather fan of Animal Crossing, and it's because I've always gotten into the games too late. Like I've always gotten into them like sort of after the zeitgeist has come and gone, right? And so I played New Leaf. I think like last year or maybe 2 years ago. Like people had long since retired and been like not seen their towns in a long time by the time I got around to playing it. So for me, I think it's exciting to just play Animal Crossing when everybody else is playing it. I think that's sort of the same way that you want to play a lot of these like newer games. Like right now I'm having this real anxiety because I'm not playing Destiny during the Forsaken update.
Zach.
But but it's like playing this game when it's fresh, like when people are really invested in it. I think that might be something that actually hooks me to Animal Crossing this time. Are you an Animal Crossing guy?
See, I'm actually going to be I've never played it. Okay. Because for whatever reason, it's, I've played many Nintendo franchises in my lifetime, but Animal Crossing has eluded me for one reason or another. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just coming at it because I adore the Switch is my favorite Nintendo system at least since the GameCube.
Right.
If not even going back further than that. So I'm looking forward to just diving in when it's new and hot and being part of the conversation on it.
The franchise is not for everybody. Like unlike a lot of Nintendo franchises, like I would say Mario and Zelda are a lot of games people like pretty much anyone can pick up, even stuff like Pokemon. But Animal Crossing is like it's got a very slow pace and it's kind of like mundane in a lot of ways, and I sort of appreciate that.
Yeah.
And if you're bad at interior decorating, everyone will think you're bad at the game.
That's true. They'll come over to your house.
It doesn't bode well for me.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I really liked about Pocket Camp for even the short amount of time that I played it was the ability to pick up and play it for 5 or 10 minutes at a time, and like that has obviously lent itself to Animal Crossing in the past, like on the 3DS, like the portability, the ability to just kind of jump into your town, do a couple of items, check off a couple of chores on your chores list and whatever, and then get back to whatever it is you were doing before. And so like the portability to the Switch makes this just as easy to been on other consoles. So yeah, I'm excited for Animal.
And I hope they let us time travel. And that's what you do by changing the system clock so you can make every day Christmas.
Oh.
And then Rossetti comes and yells at you for
I thought you were talking about like actual time travel in the game.
No, it's like a
we're
long
taking Animal Crossing in a very strange new direction.
It's kind of a long con in Animal
Something
Crossing.
has to be done about your kids, Brian. Your kids.
Great Scott. You go into the system settings and you go like, I want to catch seasonal fish, but it's fall and I want it to be spring, or it's the middle of summer and I want to go.
So what you're talking about is cheating.
It's
You're
cheating.
cheating the game.
Yeah.
I see.
Don't snitch.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can do what you got to do to get those.
Is it
seasons
really
fit.
cheating if it's a feature built into the system?
Exactly. I don't think
Nobody
so.
knows. It's impossible.
Rossetti
so.
would say yes.
Yeah.
You can't cheat life, guys.
Who's
you can't
to
do
say
that.
I don't know what day it is?
Animal Crossing was one of many, many announcements in this direct. We were sitting here on stage, all kind of taking notes on this direct as the announcements were coming out, but I couldn't help but feel really, really bad for Andrew Goldfarb and our news team, because I know that they're out there just like scrambling to get all the announcements put together and stuff. And this was a direct that was fast and furious in its announcements, and kind of left me a little bit sweaty. Like, I was just trying to keep up with it. So before we get into the next topic, I did want to ask what your overall impressions were of the direct today. Like, let's go ahead and start with Ryan. What'd you think?
I was really pleased. There was so much here. There was really something here for everyone. Really, I mean, that's what they somehow managed to pull off with this. Kicking it off with a quick teaser of Luigi's Mansion 3. That's right in the feels for me. I love the original. I thought it got a bad rap on GameCube because it wasn't a Mario game. So stoked for that. The town came out of nowhere. Gorgeous looking RPG. Can't wait to find out more about that. And then some of the old Wii U games that Wii U didn't sell that well in the grand scheme of things, and so a lot of that stuff coming back is new to people like me. Yep. The Wii U's I guess it is the only Nintendo system I've ever skipped. So a lot of the great games from that will be new to me now.
Yeah, we invited you on this show.
You did. You're
unbelievable.
How dare you? Welcome in everyone. With what you do here.
So rude.
True.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought that there was obviously a ton of new information, but then there was also a lot of announcements that were kind of reiterations of some stuff we'd already heard about or we already knew, and then it was made sort of double weird by the fact that this presentation was delayed by a week, and a lot of the stuff that would have been surprises was already sort of out there in the world. Like obviously we heard about Civ 6 last week. Obviously we saw the Mega Man 11 demo drop last week. Crystal Chronicles. Well, there's a lot of Final Fantasy news that we'll get to in a bit, but like, there are some things that were a little disappointing to me, but then it was also balanced out with like a lot of really cool new info. Brian, what do you think?
It was fantastically paced, like breakneck speed. I think it was a good balance of first and third party stuff. I think that obviously they're pushing a lot for online, but I still think that that's not going to pan out the way people want it to in a traditional sort of online sense that you see on other consoles. And they're doing a lot of really good things to distract you from that. They're showing you all these other things you can do, but very little of that focuses on what it will be actually like to play games online. And I think that's going to be an issue because voice chat is still a big question mark. Justifying charging people for something that they've been playing for free for a year and change now is a big question mark. And you can throw NES controllers and NES games and all this other stuff as like sort of distractions, but if you're watching The Magician's Hand on this one, I don't know if the trick is really panning out.
Good one.
Dug myself out of that one.
Casey, what did you think?
Well, there's no Monster Hunter, so it was a huge trash disappointment to me. No, I'm kidding. 100% it's fine. But I do wish they had gone into more detail about the online, because I feel like they didn't tell us anything we didn't already know.
What a great segue you've just set us up for, Casey.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, let's talk about Nintendo Switch Online. So here we are. Nintendo Switch Online coming out September 18th. Right around the corner. We knew it was going to be mid-September. We didn't have an exact date. Now we know that it's September 18th. $20 a year, $35 for a family plan. But overall, they kind of separated it into this like 5 pillars, right? Yeah. There's online play, NES classics, save data clouds, smartphone app, and then special offers. Right. So let's talk a little bit about each of these things. So the online play, Brian, you kind of touched on this. You want to talk a little bit more about your thoughts there?
Yeah, sure. So it's $20 a year, $35 for a family plan, which if you do the $20 a year one, it comes out to like $1.70 each month, which is dirt cheap. And I think they're doing a free 1-week trial and stuff like that. So really, like, the price isn't much, but I don't know if the service itself is going to stack up to what some of the competitors are doing. Effectively, they're going to start charging you for things that you're getting for free right now. I think had they done that from day one, there'd be less of a sting about it, but right now we're still kind of left saying to ourselves, like, how will we voice chat? How will we communicate? Will we need like 50 different dongles? Like, how well will that system unfold?
I think the Switch kind of already like shot itself in the foot with this, is because there's nowhere to plug in headphones anywhere when you have it docked. Yeah. So what are you going to do? Like, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's anything to plug anything into the controller.
No, there's not. And much to my chagrin, when I was playing a lot of Fortnite, like it was super annoying because that's a game that you want to coordinate on.
I would kill for Bluetooth support where I could use my wireless.
Oh yeah.
So my concern with Bluetooth support, obviously we digress, but like our concern with Bluetooth, my concern with Bluetooth support is the amount that it would drain the battery. I would buy another Pro controller and pay $10 to $15 more if it just had a headphone jack.
Yeah.
Like that would be such an easy fix.
But as to this presentation, like Brian, you hit on half of my thoughts, which is it's only $20 a year.
Right.
Yeah.
At the same time, they didn't do anything to sell me on it. Like I'm gonna pay it because it's so cheap.
But
it's just like they didn't really sell me on it very well.
Yeah.
There's a montage at the beginning of the online play segment, and like me just being stupid, I'm watching it and I'm like, what? I could play Mario Kart and Rocket League online. And then I was like, wait, I'm playing Mario Kart and Rocket League online for a year.
Yeah.
For free. So like that's not a great way to like entice people. Except for idiots like me that we're
I'm going to feel bad for kids who are not in tune with this news. And then next week they're going to be like, hey mom, like, can you pay this money so I can keep playing online?
Right.
And like,
you're
just going to have to convince their parents.
This is also going to effectively, I imagine, decimate online player counts for existing user bases because you're splintering them into people who have $20 and people who don't. So, I mean, you do have the option to pay per month. It ends up being a lot more money doing it that way. But these are games that we've been playing already. So there's not a ton of information about how all of this will work, how the connections will stay stable, how we'll be voice chatting. Obviously, there's the app that we'll talk about.
The voice chat is going to come through the app. Yeah, we saw that in that app segment that was, if you're a backseat gamer, like you can also participate, and here's the voice chat app. But we know that voice chat app is kind of bogus.
Well, we know people now are already using,
Discord,
Skype, FaceTime, whatever they can.
I still use PlayStation chat and just
I saw your tweet about your Monster Hunter
cross-platform play.
Yeah, Casey had this just bang on tweet about like how she plays Monster Hunter Generations with on Switch, and it was connected to a chat room on PlayStation, but then you're also playing it just looks so complicated. The second pillar was NES Classic.
Yes, so that's the thing here. They have Trojan horsed the virtual console into their online.
Time out. Can you explain the Trojan horse to us?
So a bunch of dudes wanted to get into something, so they got into a big wood horse, and then everyone was like, wow, that's a cool horse. And they jumped out. We're like, we're a bunch of dudes in a horse. And then they killed the other guys. It's
historically accurate.
Yeah.
That's why you don't look a gift horse in the mouth, because there might be a bunch of guys in there getting ready to
they actually
murder
didn't
you.
come out of the mouth historically, but sure.
Just go with it.
Oh boy.
Okay. No, so I love NES games. I love Virtual Console in general. We're only getting NES games right now. The cool thing about this presentation is that we got a glimpse at some third-party stuff for the first time. So far, we had only heard about first-party. We're seeing stuff like Gradius, Ghosts and Goblins, Double Dragon. There's a
Solomon's Key.
Solomon's Key.
Yeah, that is,
which I actually didn't play on NES, but I played it when they ported it to the Wii Virtual Console. So it's cool that we get these games. I think they're going to be awesome with online play. Hopefully, we'll see how that works. Again, still not a ton of details about that. And I don't know how many we'll be playing when this thing launches. If we'll get to keep them, or are we renting them? Yeah, like do they disappear? Because I know like on Netflix, you'll be really into a show and then it'll disappear, and licenses renew and exchange and stuff. So
those are some of the details that I'm talking about that I'm disappointed they didn't reveal, because I feel like we didn't really learn anything all that new, except for some of the other titles that we're going to get.
Again, not to be like the crusty old cynical guy, but history tells me that the fact that they didn't communicate all that stuff means it's not information that's going to make you happy when you do find out what it is.
Not only that, but maybe they haven't figured it out quite yet. Like maybe it's still sort of up in the air.
That's even more cynical of you to take.
The third pillar was the save data cloud, and
so mad that this isn't just that you have to pay for this.
Well, that it wasn't day one to begin with, and that also that you have to pay for it. But Casey, you made a great point during the direct that you can use the save data cloud, but or save cloud data, sorry, but not every game.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work for every game, including Splatoon 2 and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
To be fair, those are very small franchises, and
they're like no one's going to play those. Like, what is even a Pokemon? Like, what is that?
Never heard of him.
But and I understand why they're doing that, and it's to prevent people from cheating. Because if they had cloud save data, you could trade Pokemon and then re-download re-download your cloud data and get that Pokemon back so you could infinitely duplicate Pokemon in that way. But I feel like there
See, you've put a lot of thought into this.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, I'm a cheater at heart, so no, I'm kidding. I would never do that. But I don't know if there's a better workaround because right now, if there's no way to save it. You can't put it on an SD card. You can't do anything with it.
There's no backups.
That's the big problem too, right? Like you can't do a local backup to something.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've publicly said on the show that I had a Switch that got bricked and I had to send it in and my saves were gone.
Right.
And so part of me is kind of just like, well, what else can you take from me?
Right.
But the other part of me is kind of like, this is a problem. I've been through this heartbreak. I don't want others to go through it. And I think, this is in very Nintendo fashion, this is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So
Get a Pokemon Company programmer in here, Stat.
Yeah.
We need some answers.
I mean, so yeah, it's going to be a big problem for some of their biggest games like Splatoon and Pokemon. I know they said they couldn't find a solution. Again, other companies have found ways to do this with online games, so I don't really see what the issue is. Then again, I'm an idiot and I don't know how things work.
I'll agree to that. We've already sort of discussed, said our piece about the smartphone app. Obviously, we're not. Go ahead.
I do just want to say I do totally understand that hosting online servers costs money.
Sure.
So it makes sense with as much online play is available on the Switch compared to Nintendo's past platforms that they might need that money to make quality servers work well. So I do understand that. It's just I want to actually know how everything's going to work. You
think that the lack of cloud data across like every game is due to the fact that the Switch online service is sort of like a bargain basement service?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And the bar is set high by PlayStation, PSN, and Xbox Live.
Yep.
I can't speak to the way that Xbox works because I'm not an Xbox boy, but like the PlayStation backup is nearly flawless.
So
like the way that
easy.
you can integrate and jump in and out on a different system is like amazing.
It's even,
and you can even
it's the same, or if not even easier on Xbox.
Yeah.
Both of those.
And you can even
consoles have it
save
now.
everything on a USB stick and just have that.
Right.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know if it's really that if we could throw more money and fix the problem. I think it's just one of those things. It's like
I'd certainly pay $5 more a year if it meant that was a ubiquitous cloud save.
No, totally. I think this stems from like a stumble in the design decision when these games were originally being concocted. In the same way, people are like, I'd pay you $50 to change my name on PSN, and Shuhei Yoshida's like, oh, we literally can't do that. Like that's our system is different than what you expect. Although maybe that's coming someday.
I definitely would pay $50 to change my username.
Got a bad boy name, huh?
Smokes Mad Blunts 420, but
no.
Lives up to his name.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I wish that it was the same kind of system like that PlayStation has where I can just log on to another system and all of my stuff is there. It's just saved. I can download my save data. I can download my games.
Yeah.
So if my system gets fried or anything happens, it's not a meltdown.
They have an Xbox here and an Xbox at home.
Yeah,
and all they have to do is
so
sign
easy.
in.
Yeah.
They're just dumb terminals.
Yeah.
That's all
I
they
look
are.
forward
It's
to
great.
I look forward to hearing about Nintendo's plan to rectify this in the Nintendo Switch Online Plus coming in 2020.
Exactly. And so we're real quick, we're all in the loop on this, but I feel like the average consumer that walks into a store and sees cloud saves is just going to assume that all of this will work for them. But there's a lot of fine print in all of this stuff, and I think that's where it gets a little sketchy.
Speaking of the fine print, we did talk about the app already, but the last thing that they talked about was special offers, which they said more to come soon.
Right.
And
that
Brian did
just
find one.
baffled me.
And so I immediately kicked over to their website and I started digging around, and underneath the special offers tab, they already have 2 listed. One of them is the NES controllers, which is really weird but really cool. They are Bluetooth original NES controllers that strap onto the sides of your Switch. Just look insane.
Yeah,
but
it
I
does
love
look
them.
really ridiculous.
And they have L&R shoulder buttons, just like your regular Joy-Cons do. I don't know if you'll be able to play like Breath of the Wild with them. Give it a shot. Who knows? But here's where it gets weird. And we're again in the fine print. These are $60 for 2, and you can only get them if you are an online subscriber through Nintendo's
which they
online service.
didn't mention in the Direct.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hidden down
right there,
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
membership
Yep.
sold,
very,
sold
very
separately,
tiny. So
Limit 1 purchase per paid minute.
What
Membership.
limit? Oh, so you can't hawk them on eBay.
Exactly. And so you'll be able to pre-order these in a week, and they will ship mid-December.
December, yeah.
So I think this is sort of evocative of what they used to do with Club Nintendo, which was their sort of answer.
That's a great Great point.
How do we get physical goods into the hands of our most loyal users? In this case, this is like a sort of a ticket that is paywalled by being a Nintendo Online supporter, which means you pay that $20, you get in, or maybe you can just subscribe for 1 month. I don't even know how that's going to work.
Well, you pay your $4 and then you're subscribed for 1 month.
I know, but did they check if you're still subscribed in December
before they send it to you? Yeah.
Who knows? And so if you're in Japan, you can actually get the Famicom versions of these. So I imagine these are going to go for, like, they're going to be collector's items eventually. The packaging is pretty bare bones. It looks like when you order a replacement part off of like Nintendo's online store. So these are not really meant to be mass produced on like a Walmart scale.
Right.
But yeah, you get 2 for $60. They're Bluetooth. I don't know if you'd be able to kit bash them and use them on PC or other platforms. That'd be really cool.
Now, they only mentioned that you could charge these controllers on your Nintendo Switch, but what if you could put them on either side and then also play? They're just really just an awkward.
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
situation.
Yeah, there's a lot of who knows, man. A lot of questions.
There's a lot of who knows, man, going on.
A lot of questions. And
All those extra buttons.
And the other offer that they didn't mention in the Direct is that if you're a Splatoon fan, when you sign up for the online pass, you will get a code that gives you an online jersey and shoes.
And shoes.
And there's that. So you get that. It's sort of like that, when you got that T-shirt in Breath of the Wild that said like, I bought the season, the red shirt that Goldfarb never took off.
Exactly.
Do you guys think that there's Nintendo is still using the original tooling for making the molds, making the
that would be
housing
impressive.
controllers,
I mean,
or if they had at some point threw all that out, whether it was the N64 era, or,
I can't imagine,
and they've had to redo it from.
I can't imagine that a company like Nintendo would, because if their actual design philosophies and their manufacturing philosophies are anything like the way that they make games, they hold on to everything.
That's
right?
true.
Like, they keep stuff in their back pocket and they bring it out way later. And then take a look at something like the NES Classic.
Yeah, it launched 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But it uses the ports from the end of the Wii, right? Like, so somewhere in their factories they just had like a surplus of these Wii ports.
Totally.
And then they're just like, okay, we'll just use these for our NES Classics. Like,
And
so
the cords on these controllers are even shorter than
that's right.
Classic.
They're 2.5 feet
They're
long.
invisible. That's how
right.
short they are.
This Direct, so rapid fire, just to kind of close off on Nintendo Switch Online. Just give me a quick thumbs up, yes or no. Like, were you satisfied with what you saw about Nintendo Online? Just after all these months of like wondering what it was.
I mean, in that regard, no. But again, at $20 a year, sure, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I would also say no. But for $20, you kind of get what you paid for. So
Yeah.
If there was a premium option, if it was like a $50 a year premium option that alleviated some of these concerns, I would pony up for that. But that's what I pay for PS Plus. So
Yeah, right. I would say that I'm paying for online NES games, and everything else is secondary.
it's like a bonus.
Yeah, I'm here for vintage retro games, and online stuff. I'll believe it when I see it.
Sure, Casey.
Yeah, I think I'm not satisfied with what I saw, but for a $20 a year vintage library and the ability to keep playing online so I can get through G Rank and Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is a necessity, so I'm going to be getting it.
There you have it. 7.5. Good, not great. So we saw a metric ton of games in this Direct. Just so many. And we're not going to talk about all of them, but we are going to talk about a lot of the ones that we were really pumped up on. So, Ryan, you already mentioned Luigi's Mansion 3. Very short teaser, but I love Dark Moon. Like, I caught a lot of stuff, like a lot of flack for saying that I like Dark Moon better than the first one.
Really?
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Wow.
I believe the comment was, everyone knows that the second one is universally reviled. So,
I don't think that's true.
yeah, that's news to me. But I just like the idea of playing Luigi's Mansion in HD on the Switch. Like, I think it's going to be so much fun to wander around this spooky mansion again with my friend, and I hope he has a lot of fun whistles and a lot of good Marios.
Yep. That's a good one there.
Thank you.
The original Luigi's Mansion is only like 5 hours long. It's not a very long game.
Yeah, but Dark Moon is long.
Yeah, Dark Moon is a serious game, and so I want to see this expand on that and give us like a 15-hour Luigi's Mansion.
Give us a 40-hour Luigi's Mansion.
200-hour. I want season pass. I
new
want
game
a full
plus.
campaign.
That's right.
Exactly.
So someone who didn't play the second game, can you catch us up on the storyline?
No, definitely not. Storyline doesn't matter. Luigi's in a mansion. There's ghosts. Get them. Just go get them.
Make them get out.
Bust
Get them out of that house.
Yeah.
What if they're nice ghosts?
They are, but you got to get them
Even
out
a nice
anyway.
ghost has to go in a tank sometimes.
It's a nuisance.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one that we want to talk about was something that we sort of predicted on the show a couple of weeks ago, and Ryan and Brian specifically did a funny little dance when this got announced, and that's New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe Edition.
Yes.
Coming January 11th, 2019, which I'm a little disappointed that's not this year because that game has been out since 2011. So it's kind of a bummer that we're not going to see it before the end of the year. I'd love for this to be like a holiday game. But yeah, we've got Mario, Luigi, Toad, Nabbit, and Toadette. And Toadette looks like kind of this game's answer to Funky Kong in Tropical Freeze, in that she kind of got this easy mode. She turns into Peachette here and can do like double jumps, and she'll bounce back if you fall into a pit, as you can see here if you're watching the video version.
She floats like in Super Mario Bros. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, this also includes the Luigi DLC, which was
means
its own separate game, effectively.
It's 100. You can see here 164 courses, which is an insane amount of Mario.
Zach, did you catch the title for this game? Is it New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe or New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe?
I thought the U was on.
there you
It's
go.
New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe.
So that's really interesting, and it's cool because they put Switch Joy-Cons on the Deluxe word. But this is the first time we're seeing the U branding in any of the ports they brought over. That's
true.
basically been a system where they've been like, don't remember this, forget about it, goodbye.
Because there was a New Super Mario
Well,
Bros.
New Super Mario Brothers is such an
Before.
established franchise,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's like it's been on Wii, it's been on DS, it's on 3DS. So like, yeah, I think it is important to differentiate that this is the Wii U version of that because I can't remember if it was this one or if it was the one on Wii. But I believe our friend Jeremy Parrish says it's the greatest 2D Mario of all time. So I don't agree with him, but it is a really great one. So.
As somebody who played a ton of this game on Wii U, this is one of my favorite 2D platformers of all time, and definitely one of the best multiplayer 2D platformers of all time. There are no Super Mario 2D platformers on the Switch, and it will now be almost 2 years into the life of the system before we get one. And this is one of the best ones. You can play stuff like Rayman Legends, which is really cool. There's a couple other multiplayer platforming games, but this game is phenomenal. It's chaotic. You can pick up your friends and throw them in a pit and kill them. Jump on each other's heads. Yeah, it'll piss you off,
especially if you're playing New Luigi.
Yep. So, that's a very like tighter, much quicker version of the
New Luigi U. To me is sort of analogous to the Lost Levels. In that it pulls no punches. It's a bonus Jonas for the first game that is just like super tough, and it's like, oh, really? You enjoyed that last one? Well, here's some stuff that might really actually make you cry. So, yeah. I'm really looking forward to playing through this again. I played the originals when they came out, but this is a nice little bonus. You know, like we've already seen a lot of Wii U ports, but of those ports, like these are the kinds of ports that I really want to see.
And hopefully, if we're now moving through the timeline on Wii U ports, we will soon arrive at the Mario Maker port.
Yes, yeah, and 3D World. Which is another
3D
excellent
World is
one.
really
and
good.
Wind Waker HD while we're here.
But why don't we move backwards through the timeline and get Galaxy 1 and 2 as well?
Oh,
yes.
And then also, speaking of other first-party games, Yoshi's Crafted World for spring 2019. It sure does look like a Yoshi game, doesn't it?
I mean, that was a big standout for me at E3 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen it.
Radio silent ever since until... the name leaked at, last week when this Direct was supposed to happen. But here we got a release date in addition to obviously this new gameplay trailer. And I adore the art style with this game. It's going to be, speaking of 2D platformers, it seems like it's going to be a super clever 2D platformer. I'm day one on this. This looks great.
I love the shifting in perspective.
Yeah.
At the end of this trailer, they talk about how you can run levels backwards and forwards, which the if you think about a way a 2D platformer works in, say, like Super Mario World or even, Super Mario Brothers U, right? It's very specifically designed to keep you moving in one direction.
Yeah.
So the idea that they built this game, engineered these levels to be able to play backwards and forwards is kind of baffling to me. And I'm like really excited to take a look at what that might feel like. Is it as rewarding an experience to go from right to left or
It's almost like the platformer, the designers at Nintendo are so good at what they do that they're like, how can we challenge ourselves? I know.
Yeah.
Let's engineer this.
But backward.
One of the things... No, you go.
A lot of 2D platformer games are constructed in a way that almost gets you into a rhythm of playing them. Yeah. So to maintain the rhythm of platforming in both directions, like you were saying, is incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do that.
That's really interesting design.
It's like Gloria Estefan said, one day the rhythm is going to get you.
She did say
Like
that.
this episode, it'll be the palindrome of Nintendo platformers.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Like
Oh,
the
man.
word race car, which is the same forwards and backwards. Think
Yes.
about it. One thing I wanted to add, do you guys think this game was delayed to add some sort of Labo support? Because this is a very cardboard game. There's a lot of cardboardy stuff here.
We've not seen that sort of like first party crossover yet. Like everything for Labo is bespoke for Labo. Like it's a Labo game. I guess. Well, that's not true.
The Mario
I'm
Kart
lying.
integration.
Mario Kart integration. Yeah.
I wonder if you can make a giant tongue
Yeah, that's what this game's. Yeah, that's the kit for this game.
and slide down it in your house.
Big tongue and a lot of eggs that you put together from cardboard. Casey, I know you were sorely disappointed that there was no Monster Hunter this time around, but guess what? New news on Pokemon Let's Go. And so tell us a little bit about what we saw today.
So we saw a little bit of more information on the secret techniques, which was revealed in a trailer earlier this week. And these secret techniques will be replacing HMs. And those stand for hidden machines. And those were the moves that you would have to teach your Pokemon to surf and fly and cut down obstacles. It's basically you would have to wait to learn these to progress in the game.
Right.
So now they're replaced by secret techniques, and only your partner Pokemon will be able to learn them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you have to have these Pokemon in your battle party of 6. Is I think that partner Pokemon will be on your shoulder regardless as if they're in your battle party or not, because they're always in cutscenes. They are also in sorry, I'm just like got distracted by the video. It's like, oh man, more Pokemon. No, but so in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you have the computer with you. So I know that sounds weird. So in other Pokemon games, you have to go to a Pokemon Center to switch out your Pokemon.
Right.
In Pokemon Let's Go, you can do that anywhere.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So you will never be stuck. And we also learned that your partner Pokemon will learn exclusive moves that only they can learn. And they are activated with the Joy-Con. And these moves are like Pikachu's Splishy Splash, which is Pikachu on a surfboard.
There you go.
I'm also mesmerized by the footage.
Eevee learns Buzzy Buzz and some other ridiculous names for moves that are very strong.
Okay. So one of the most important features revealed today is the ability to style your Pokemon's hair by petting them.
Yep.
What's going on with this game?
Dude, I don't even know anymore.
Is this game for babies? I can't tell.
I don't like the sentence "pet your partner."
Yeah, you
was
could
weird.
pet your
Pet
partner.
your partner.
Pet your
Yeah.
partner.
Round and
Oh,
round.
look, he's not really into it either. If you're watching
like,
the
what
video
are you
version,
doing?
Pikachu's not looking stoked.
So basically, when you have the Switch in handheld mode, depending on the way in which you pet your Pokemon, will
Go on.
change how its hair looks when you're done.
Okay. It's an exciting time to be a
Anyway.
Pokemon fan.
But I'm really glad that they are not bringing back HMs, because that was really annoying and overall disdained feature, if you want to call it a feature, of Pokemon. And they replaced it in Sun and Moon with Ride Pokemon, which was a good kind of interim solution to that. But now we just have secret techniques and we just don't even have to worry about any of that. So yeah, it's fine.
So if you're a fan of the show, you know that we have a Facebook group where people go in and ask us questions about the show, just like John Luke H. Pollock did, and he said, did they just announce Splatoon Battle Royale, or am I mistaken? And this is in reference to Splatoon version 4, Splatoon 2 version 4 that we saw. And we've been talking about Splatoon Battle Royale on this show for months.
Right.
Casey and I predicted it together in tandem at the exact same time.
Excellent work.
No way to know who predicted it first, but we've been talking about Battle Royale coming to Splatoon for a long time, and it's not 100%. They're not saying like, "Hey, here's Splatoon Battle Royale," but it sure as hell looks that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that look very battle royale-y here.
Well, it started with this weird Splatoon music video.
It's an anime opening.
Yeah, you're right. It does look like an anime opening. Yeah. But then at the very tail end was like the idea that it was 100 characters participating in one match, or it said 100 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're looking at a. Battle
100
Royale.
times battle. It flashes on the screen for like a second. I don't know what that means. What does that mean, guys?
I don't know. Like
Is it a
I've
battle
been playing a ton of
royale?
Fortnite, and I really enjoy it. I'm definitely down to give Splatoon a Splatoon Battle Royale mode a shot, because I feel like I've dropped off of Splatoon, but this might be the thing that would really bring me back into it.
Totally.
So I'm all for it. I'm here for Battle Royale in Splatoon. Yeah. Have you had an opportunity to play much Splatoon?
No, it's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not It's
paint.
But what about touche? What about Battle Royale?
Also, no. I don't
So
know
this
I don't
is
know
not
the
for
patience.
Ryan McCaffrey.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is hard.
No big
pass.
deal.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Lots of different games for lots of different people.
That's true.
I know we've discussed this before, but I have no idea how they would accomplish a battle royale mode. Maybe 100-man Splatoon, but I don't know about battle royale.
I mean, it would have to be solos only, right? Like, there's no way that you well, I guess not no way that you would do duos or quads, but yeah, it seems to me like solos would be the way to go because if not, you're looking at chatting through the app. But I guess plenty of people already do that for Splatoon, so
Yeah.
who knows? Another question coming from the Facebook group comes from Ryan Joslin, and he said, my question is when was the last RPG other than Pokemon that Game Freak has made? What are your thoughts on Town? It looks really interesting, and it has kind of a mother feel with the kid characters. Ryan, you talked about Town sort of at the top of the show here. Town is an RPG from Game Freak. We know that it takes place only in one city. What did you think?
Just I love pleasant surprises. I love new IPs. I love new ideas, and the art style was stunning. You got a nice pedigree here. I mean,
It does look
at this.
amazing. Like,
Yeah.
It's stunning.
Yeah.
So it's when trailers, announcements like this, they just leave me eager and curious to learn more. So that's where I sit right now. I'm very curiously intrigued by this.
Yeah, I'm digging that we're getting a lot of RPG support for the Switch as well. You know, we've got Octopath Traveler this
Still
year
playing it.
and
So
new
good.
Xenoblade DLC coming that they talked about a little bit in this direct. But it's really cool that we're getting new IP and new exciting JRPGs. You know, coming from developers that we know and love, like Game Freak. So
It looked like the boy thought of meat, and then a light bulb appeared, and then he threw the light bulb to hurt the monster.
that's usually how battles go down. Yeah.
It's a real sentence.
Anytime
That's
I've
it.
gotten in a fight, I've thought of meat, and then a light bulb appears, and then I throw that light bulb at my assailant. So
That's what
Because
those.
meat
worked
is
out really
brain
well.
food and gives you ideas that then materialize into the real world.
I guess we'll
like
have to
the
wait until 2019. to
Modern
find
day
out.
version of taking off your white glove and slapping another man across the face.
That's exactly what it is. You know, we're talking about RPGs, and there's no bigger name in RPGs than Final Fantasy. I mean,
Segue.
Final Fantasy. Yeah, that was a good one, right?
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
you know,
no longer name in RPGs. than
You know
Final
what's
Fantasy.
nice about a segue is when somebody points out that you've segued, and then you know that it's a segue.
That's the best way to do it.
We knew that Crystal Chronicles was coming. That got sort of unceremoniously announced last week. Brian, how do you feel about Crystal Chronicles?
All of my Animal Crossing and Crystal Chronicles and GameCube favorites are returning to Nintendo Switch.
Brian's a tough guy. Like, I've known Brian for going on 4 years now,
Yeah.
and I feel like you like tough guy games, with the exception of Animal Crossing. But like, you like a Bloodborne,
Yeah.
you like a
Oh,
GTA,
man, yeah. I do.
But then one day we were talking, and he was like, "You know what game I loved? Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles."
We did a thing on Up at Noon like literally 2 weeks ago. We just put the video up the other day because it took us a minute. You know, we're tired. But the I said like it was something like 10 GameCube games I want to see on Switch that are sort of like slept on, like not really like the ones everyone knows. And this was one of the ones I named. And lo and behold, here we are. This is a sort of, Casey and I did a video on this, but this is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. It's one of my favorite RPGs. It's very like Diablo light. It's multiplayer. You team up with your friends to cast spells and attack bad guys and stuff like that. My big concerns are, how's this going to work online? How's it going to work with local play? But in the meantime, it's really cool to see this here. And also, as we'll talk about right now, a good opportunity to open the floodgates for every Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, great segue.
You got it.
Holy moly, there's a lot of Final Fantasy coming to Switch. We're looking at, well, first of all, before we move off of that, one thing that I also like Crystal Chronicles, no GBAs necessary,
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no need for any sort of like additional peripherals or anything. You can play online and you can play with your buddies, and I think that's really smart. I think that's a really cool way to play this
The
game.
original game required 4 Game Boy Advances and 4 link cables.
Plus that bucket.
Yeah, and friends. The bucket
You
sucks.
gotta have the bucket.
Bucket's still there.
It's bucket's still there. It's not
But
going
yeah,
anywhere.
so out today, Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, which is a cool way to experience Final Fantasy 15 if you only own a Switch. I mean, Final Fantasy 15 is a huge, sprawling RPG, so it's nice that some iteration of that is coming to Switch, and love an announcement that happens on the same day, right? Like, I love a good, and you can play it right now.
So is Pocket Edition, I heard voice acting, so does it
That's
have all
true.
the same voice acting,
does.
all the same story?
I
It's just,
don't know that it has the same amount of voice acting. It might be fully voiced, but I know that there is voice acting. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. It's actually 40% off right now too, so you can get the full game for $17.99 instead
That's
of
a
$29.99.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To purchase.
Right here, live on the show, Brian's buying games. We've also got World of Final Fantasy Maxima, which is a sort of a retake on a 3DS game from 2016, 2015. It's kind of like Monster Hunter Light. You play as these chibi Final Fantasy characters from across the pantheon, and you're fighting enemies and this and that. It's fine. Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, everybody spelled like Buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I've never played a Chocobo Mystery Dungeon game. Couldn't tell you about that. Casey, you said you've
I have actually never
dabbled.
played this game. I was thinking of Chocobo Tales, which was a Chocobo deck building game for the DS, which I'm
Totally different game.
totally different game, and I'm upset that it's not in this ridiculous collection of Final Fantasy games because it was underappreciated.
Oh, it will be.
Yeah. Sooner or later.
Someday.
Don't worry.
Look at that
Super Ultra
obscure
Wicked Mega
Final
Bundle for
Fantasy.
$399.
Going
Every
back,
Final Fantasy ever.
going back even further in time, we have Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, and Final Fantasy X and X-2 Remaster coming to Switch. I don't know why they skipped over 8. 8 is a great Final
They'll get
Fantasy
there.
game.
Don't worry.
But
That is a weird.
yeah,
We've said on the show before, the PETS initiative is port everything to Switch. This is part of the PEFs, which is port every Final Fantasy to Switch. I'm still working on the thing for it, but there's a lot of games here. What did X2 7 not what Crystal Chronicles
yeah.
There's a one just launched. Like what?
Hundreds of hours of Final Fantasy.
Perhaps my
Never
favorite.
buy another
and-
game again.
Yeah, no kidding. Perhaps my favorite announcement about Final Fantasy this week is that from this direct is that Final Fantasy 12 is coming to Switch. The Zodiac Age, which came out last year and is sort of an HD remaster. It actually makes this game. This is my favorite Final Fantasy. I know everybody else really hates it, but this is my favorite one. And a really awesome thing about this game is they added a feature that allows you to speed up your movement speed. So you can go like 1.5 speed, I think, or 2. It's either 2 and 4 or like 1.5 and 2. You just speed through these areas. Like this game is known for these like big open sprawling areas, and you just like jam through them, which makes this game easier to play, like more fun to play, easier to digest, and I just love the fact.
You know what we call that in
on
other
the road.
RPGs? Fast travel.
Fast travel. Yeah, I mean there's that
Well,
too.
it helps
but
you grind faster too.
yeah, man, Final Fantasy 12 is really good. If you guys want to talk to me about Final Fantasy 12 on Twitter, please don't hesitate to do that. We got a bunch of 3DS announcements as well. Kirby's Epic Yarn from way back on the Wii days is coming.
One of the best games on Wii.
Yeah, coming to 2019. New mini games that allow you to play as other bros. You like this game? Tell us a little bit about Kirby's Epic Yarn.
I think this is one of the first games Nintendo did that looked like their grandmother made it.
Yeah.
Part of that long series of grandmotherly games that were all made.
Well, we got
with
the yarn, we got the wool, we got the clay.
Yeah, and then there's the new crafty one, and then there's
The cardboard.
Olive Labo. So this is a really cool game. It's all sort of it's a platforming game where everything looks like it's made of strings. You can yank areas of the world and sort of like shrink them and contract and expand them. The really big boss fights and battles. There's in typical Nintendo fashion, this looks like a little kid's baby game, but when you dig into it, there's a lot of challenge here. There's a lot of cool unlockables. There's a lot of hidden secrets. So you could run and gun through each level and you'll be fine. But also if you stop and sort of search for all the nooks and crannies, you'll find a lot of cool challenge here. I like this game a lot. It used like sort of non-traditional platforming controls on the Wii. So I don't know exactly how that will work here, but we'll see what happens.
And not unlike Planet Robobot or Yoshi's Woolly World. Like I love the idea, the fact that these games, they are engineered, they are set, like they are marketed to a younger crowd, and they are easy to get through. Like you can get through the whole game. Maybe you'll die once or twice, like whatever. But you unlock levels and you unlock challenges in these games that are so freaking hard.
Yeah.
And like really, really challenging and really fun to play. And I love this game. I really enjoyed it on Wii. I'm looking forward to going back.
Also, I mean, there's like millions and millions, tens of millions of 3DSs out there. And if you're still rocking one of those and you don't have a Switch yet, I appreciate that Nintendo is making you feel like you're still getting quality games coming to that platform.
Yeah.
You know, you just got a WarioWare. There's a Luigi's Mansion coming. There's
That's right.
Kirby coming.
That's
so.
another note I've got here. Luigi's Mansion coming October 12th, right in time for Spooky Day, right in time for Spooky Time. And
Added some weird multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, it's got a weird 2-player mode that is a little unclear on. It's like a boss rush mode that you can do if one person doesn't have the game.
Right. There's different stuff if both of you have the copy of the game versus if only one of you have.
Right, which is reminds me a lot of what they used to do with the Game Boy Advance. Where you could play Mario Kart with other people, but all of you had to be Shy Guys if only one of you had a copy of the game. Whereas if both of you do, you have more stuff to do here. I think this second Luigi is terrifying. I don't like him. I don't like that he's a Green Dead hologram version of Luigi. That's weird.
They have to make second player feel lesser somehow.
Kind of a nod to Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't even put that together. You're totally right.
And then the last 3DS gem that we got is Bowser's Inside Story. Bowser's Inside Story is one of my favorite of the Mario Luigi series.
Really?
I think it's really clever. Yeah, I think it's really funny. And now you can play Bowser Jr.'s Journey, which is a whole second sub game basically within this game. I like that they're bringing these games to 3DS for sort of a new audience to experience, and they're adding so much. And I don't know, this Bowser Jr.'s story kind of looks like it's got like a tactical spin on the combat as well, because you can kind of play with enemy character placement and stuff. I like this game. I'll play it again. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Right on. So that kind of wraps up not every announcement from the Direct, but a lot of announcements from the Direct. Yeah. One thing that we didn't see in this week's Direct that we all kind of thought maybe would make an appearance was Labo. But fortunately, Ryan McCaffrey is here specifically for a Labo update. Ryan, what can you tell us about? Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Hold on. Where's the? I gotta turn this stuff on. So Nintendo kindly sent a unit of vehicle kit. This is kit number 3.
Okay.
And we had the variety kit and the robot kit that launched with the system. And here we go with third kit. So this isn't even all of it. This is the first major project.
Right. This is just one of the builds out of the whole box.
Them. Yeah, hang on. Where's let's see, the keys in there, and then perfect. So
the keys? Are you talking about the keys?
yeah, there's this
Oh my gosh.
turns it on. There's a key there. I'm actually gonna turn this on anyway. But let me just
what
show
we're
this
looking
real quick,
at is a cardboard contraption.
Thank you.
With a steering wheel, with a slot for a Joy-Con key to go in to turn it on, I assume.
It looks like there's 2 sticks too. This is actually one of the bigger. This is probably the biggest Labo kit since the backpack.
Yeah, it's giant.
All of the other ones in the other kit that had the piano and the motorcycle and stuff like that. This is a much bigger thing. This looks like the inside of an old car.
Yeah. So what's cool about this is definitely. So my daughter and I, who's 7, we've been working on. We have the variety kit. We don't have the robot kit. So we're not even quite done with the variety kit yet. We still have the piano to go, which she's been really excited to try and build. It's the most intricate in that one. But yeah, we'll just tool around with this a little bit.
I got you here.
But yeah, it took us. We probably spent upwards of around 3 hours on this.
Eyes on the road,
told.
man. Eyes on the road.
I know, right? It's just like
Here, follow this. Come on.
oh
Can you
god,
hang?
oh, this is gonna get car sick. But yeah, like you should see the inside of this. Like there's all kinds of stuff, rubber bands and strings and neat stuff going on in this. But you got all sorts of little.
What is that?
What does the rope do?
There's like a rope with a little
like turbo boost there.
Oh, cool. Is there a horn?
I don't know. That's a good question.
There's some knobs on top that Ryan's turning.
We finished this late last night, and then I had to let her to play a little bit before I sent her to bed, even though it was so crazy late. But yeah, it's super fun to make, and I have to say, just in general with Labo, I know if you're not a parent, if it's just you, I get it. This might not be appealing in the slightest. It wouldn't be to me, honestly, if I weren't a dad. But if you have a kid of the right age, I really think Labo is, and I don't want to sound like I'm being hyperbolic, but I really think this is kind of genius.
Yeah,
because this is a way that I can connect with my 7-year-old daughter with a video game in a way where she's like actually connected to it. Like she made this and we made it together, and then she gets to put this up on the TV and play it. Like the fishing line from the variety kit, she loves that. She built that, and like it's just that the Switch component, the actual game part, it's fairly basic, but it adds this neat level of interactivity. And it's like, yeah, this you can have a 3-hour quality time project together, and then she feels super invested that she actually made this. and then can go interact with it in a video game, which is like a reward unto itself.
No, it's so cool. I mean, I grew up playing Nintendo games. We all did, but then a lot of them had big, goofy peripherals and stuff like that. But I had never had any idea how they were made. I went to the store and bought them. But the idea of like sitting down with a loved one and building something like this, and right before their eyes, it becomes a fully realized video game peripheral that you're using to control the action on screen is really smart.
Yeah. So actually, if you didn't see it, here's the pedal, which has
there's a
haptic
pedal.
feedback. That's how I was giving it.
So is that where the other Joy-Con is? It's in the pedal? Oh my God, that's so fun.
And like, what is the haptic feedback like?
Just the vibration of the
okay.
You feel the road.
Yeah, you feel the road. So yeah, there's the flight stick that we still have to do in this kit, and I think like a submarine thing, if I remember right.
And then a full-size plane.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like a giant actual plane.
An actual glider that we will hop in.
Yep.
And take off on. So, you got to be a little careful. We had one mishap, and unfortunately, it was in a key spot where this tab didn't want to stick in. Like it tore just a little bit, so I had to tape that one down. But that's actually, in all the stuff we've been building so far, that's the only real cardboard mishap we've had. So yeah, I think if you're a parent, whether maybe if you have a little kid, keep your eye on this for when they're a little older. Like maybe it's not for me to say what age is appropriate, but I would think like maybe kind of 4 on up might be. I don't know what the box says. Yeah.
Okay, mine's only 3 months old, so
yeah, you got a little bit of a wait, but
getting there.
yeah, there's just I really think I hope Nintendo keeps making these. I think these are great, and what is it? I think it's $70 for the kit. And that's, of course, assuming you already have the original kit, so $70 for each of the additional ones. But you get hours of quality time and fun out of this. So
we saw these launch earlier in the year, and I think they connected with a lot of people. But I really hope that Nintendo pushes them a lot in the holiday season and really gets them into the hands of kids who are looking for something like this for Christmas.
What's nice about that is that by the time Christmas rolls around, we'll have so many Labo options that there'll be a little something for everybody. Every kid that has an interest in whether it be a steering wheel or a giant robot or a submarine or whatever it is. Like
Yoshi's tongue and eggs.
Yeah, that seems like a really inappropriate set for a child, but sure, why not? Who am I to tell you how to parent your kid? But no, I think that what's really nice about Labo is that now that there is such a wide variety of the things that like you're sure to find something that you're interested in.
I will say the one mild downside when you live in a San Francisco where everything's small. I now have like a pile of, and we're not even done. I told you we're not even done. We haven't even done the piano or the other bits in the vehicle kit. But I have like a pile of finished Labos that I just don't know where to put because they're kind of fragile, right? It's cardboard.
Just do what Brian does and just put them under your desk here at work.
Exactly.
That's a good place to
keep
start.
them here.
I ran into the same problem. I just had a stack of cardboard at home, and I was like, I don't know what to do with these. I had fun building them. I had fun playing them, but I don't know if I'll keep doing that. So I just brought them into work and just hope somebody would find them or animals would move in.
Well, what if you just took them apart and then used them to ship stuff when you need to mail
You
things
could always do that.
Could do that.
Yeah.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
There you go.
Send some stuff back to
I
Amazon.
did think of a solution of very high shelves, but that would probably prove to be a disaster for a child trying to get the Labo off the very high shelves.
It would keep the dog from getting it and chewing up.
Let your kids climb a shelf. Who are you to tell people how to parent their kids?
Let your dog eat your cardboard.
These are great. If they're not for everyone, clearly, but I think they're a wonderful parent-child activity. I really do.
Yeah, they're not for you if you're a coward.
Yeah, if you're afraid of cardboard, don't get them.
Exactly.
We always wrap up NVC with a little segment that we like to call Question Block. And I was going to go ahead and pull a bunch of questions here, but honestly, the one question that everyone is asking is, where's Metroid?
Available on the NES.
That's true.
The online store.
I think people are looking for Metroid Prime 4 in this scenario.
Yeah.
And I think people were thinking that maybe this Direct was the one where it would happen. I can't imagine a world where Metroid Prime 4 does not make an appearance until E3. To me.
There's no chance.
I don't mean to get out there and squash your dreams about Metroid Prime, but that's not coming in a Direct in September.
I mean, the fact that they announced it with like a logo screen,
right?
Not a great sign that it's particularly far along yet. Which fine, it is what it is. But
we also didn't see Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. Which I honestly thought we might see Fire Emblem.
Yeah, because they announced quite a bit and showed quite a bit at E3.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But there's no Fire Emblem update. I mean, in the same way that there was like, we've seen Pokemon updates in every direct since it got announced.
I guess they're just focusing on the games that are coming out first and sooner. So we can expect that the games that they didn't show aren't going to be coming out for a while.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think with the Metroid thing, we'll get a like.
You're even wearing your Metroid shirt.
I know, man. I love it. We'll get a full-fledged trailer at E3 with a release date, hopefully for that year. And I think we'll also at E3 get a Metroid Prime trilogy is available on Switch right now.
Well, Nintendo's MO the last at least few E3s is to have the one quadruple A first-party game that dominates their E3. It's probably not going to be Metroid next year because I don't think it's coming out next year. That's just what my gut tells me.
Why do you do this stuff?
Well, the next core.
But I'm saying it'll probably be 2020. It's probably going to be like the centerpiece of their E3.
Oh, well, then it'll probably be Animal Crossing. I mean, that is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, again, E3
I could very easily see their booth being the Animal Crossing town next year and then like Zebus the following year.
Oh, my God. Yeah. If I can go in a Nook's house and punch him in the face at E3 next year, that's...
Well, man hates Tom Nook.
No, so I was going to say that's one of their biggest franchises, and E3 is sort of like a big hardcore gaming convention, and I don't think people really realize that Animal Crossing is one of their best-selling franchises.
Yeah.
Hands down. And it reaches a big, vast audience, a lot of casual gamers, too, so I think there's room for that.
Yeah, I agree.
The next core Pokemon game, like the real one, is coming out next year as well. So that is another thing Nintendo needs to lean into as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to have 3 booths.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. What a year. What a time to be alive. Guys, we are all out of time. I hate to cut you off.
Has anyone noted that as of
what did I just say?
September 18th, what is it? September 18th, the title of this show will no longer be ironic?
Yeah, maybe.
It'll still be ironic.
It's still ironic because the voice chat is bad. So, yeah. We are out of time. Our producers are coming in here and they're telling us to wrap up. But here comes Pear. What's up, Pear? Pear has an announcement. Come over here to the microphone.
No. Good job. I was looking in the chat room. Cool announcements. Assassin's Creed Odyssey got announced.
You know how this works?
Come on.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey got announced for the Switch.
What? When?
Hold on. In Japan as a streaming game.
What?
And that's been your disappointing Pear update.
What?
We're signing off here, but Pear, thank you so much for that terrible news.
Thanks for bringing us down.
Yeah, that's a real bummer.
It's better than nothing, guys. Come on.
A lot of roller coasters today.
Guys, we are the #1 Nintendo podcast on IGN.com every Thursday at 3 p.m. That's very specific. But don't forget, we're not the only show on IGN. You can also check out Ryan on Unlocked. You can check out Casey on Game Scoop often.
Sometimes.
You can check out Brian on Up
Trojan
at Noon.
Horse Cast,
Trojan
the number
Horse-
one Trojan Horse show in the world.
Horse Chat weekly with Brian Altano. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week for another episode of NVC. And don't forget to... Get the thing.
I was saying it. You
Get the thing.
Get the thing.
Get the thing.
Go get it.
Or not.